Eric Alfonso pour Ultime Fanatic avec Patrick de MMA Bay, un site de United Kingdom qui sont venus couvrir le Wolf's Lair et les activités du UFC. Hi Patrick, can you talk to us about your website first?
Sure. We run a UK-based website. We've just signed a sponsorship deal with the Wolf's Lair. We obviously sponsor the Wolf's Lair now, and basically we're just trying to make our website grow and grow. We're obviously trying to promote it in the UK as much as we can because we feel the scene is growing and growing, and it's particularly with the Ultimate Fighter series now with the UK versus US. We're expecting a big explosion in the UK. What we look to do is we look to try and give as much news and as much information about things that are going on in the MMA world, and try and get the message out there, basically.
And with the Ultimate Fighter 9 UK versus United States, and also the end of Cage Rage in the UK, is that filling a void, or is there another organization pushing in the UK, or what's the situation right now there?
Well, basically, when Cage Rage finished, that was sort of the one that was sort of most accustomed to and most people knew about. But now there's a thing called the BFC, and it's the British Fighting Championship. Now that starts in May, and it's just purely and simply British fighters that are on the card. And what they're looking to do is they're looking to try and grow that, and it's had a lot of interest, and they're expecting a lot of people to sort of tune in and start watching it, and I think that's going to be a big plus for the UK scene. Certainly the Ultimate Fighter series helps. You know, I've only seen the first show as of yet as the UK guys. I know the third show went out the other night. But I mean, the UK guys look good, and MMA in the UK in general looks good as well. I mean, the scene is just growing and growing and growing, and I think because with the UK it's mostly been about boxing, and certainly now with the UFC and certainly with the explosion that's going to happen because of the Ultimate Fighter series, we're expecting big things in the UK quite soon.
And what's the mainstream media's opinion about Ultimate Fighting in the UK?
Well, it's getting better. I mean, we have a programme on called Satanta that started airing a weekly show. We have one of the biggest papers in the country airing it, writing on it, a columnist on it. We have 3 magazines in the UK at the moment. One that's just come over to the States called Fighters Only, and another one that's due to land soon, which is called MMA Unlimited. So, in terms of actually getting the message out there, we are getting there. I mean, we're like the UFC at the moment in the UK. We're basically just scratching the surface, and like I say, you know, it's growing and growing and growing, and it continues to get bigger. And I only see that happening with this sport. I mean, it's a fantastic sport. It's great for young kids to get into. You know, it teaches them discipline, teaches them how to sort of be a better person, and obviously learn a lot of skills along the way, fighting skills, and obviously that transfers into what this is now, which is the UFC and other organisations. So I think here, you know, I'm sure in Canada and I'm sure worldwide, really, the sport is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And we all know Michael Bisping, but is there any other fighters that are upcoming that we should be looking out for in the UK?
There's a lot, actually. I know there's obviously the UK guys are on the Ultimate Fighter series. You'll see that as that unfolds about how well they do.
Sorry to interrupt you, but about those guys, were these guys like, well, for us we don't really know them, of course, but in the UK were there any of them already pushing and getting a lot of attention?
Well, I mean, a lot of them are just on the UK scene, and obviously a lot of them, you know, are basically the ones that are doing well aren't. It's not unexpected for us in the UK. Obviously, it is for the guys in the US, and certainly, obviously, worldwide because nobody's heard of them. But in the UK, a lot of guys have done, you know, had fantastic careers on the circuit, on the British circuit, and some that have fought worldwide as well. But yeah, you'll see a few surprises on this show. As of obviously, we have got Michael Bisping, who's is a global star now, but we've got a guy called Dan Hardy, who's starting to make big waves in the welterweight division. We've got Paul Kelly, who's now dropped down to lightweight, and is due to make his debut at that weight in June on the Germany card, and he's another absolutely fantastic fighter. We've got some great fighters, and like I said, the UK scene is just going to get bigger and bigger as the years go by.
Well, thanks a lot for your time, Patrick. And is there something you want to say about your website?
Just go to www.mmabay.co.uk for all the latest news. That's it.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, cheers. Thanks.